Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, welcome to that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, the show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm joined this evening by my beautiful co-host, Brain Damage. Woohoo! And my name is Eric Sizemore. We are going to have some funny memes for you. But first, a patented, trademark, copyrighted, absolutely essential aspect of every single show. You know it. You love it. You know that I'm kind of stretching just a little bit. It's the depressing news. Oh my God, the cabinet clown show, just the clown car cabinet is killing me. Our Secretary of Treasury, and look at this guy. He looks like a billionaire from Whoville. I don't know how to say it exactly, but he's definitely got a Seussian quality to his little nose there. If Dr. Seuss had like snooty billionaires who were permanently looking down their nose at you. So anyway, Scott Bessant, who we've covered before, is the worst guy on Wall Street. He lost more money than anybody else, so definitely qualified for this job. He gave a bonkers explanation for rising beef costs. He said that illegal immigrants were bringing over diseased cattle with them. Look at this smug, weird face of a man who has no understanding of any of those words he just said, which led to a deluge of all kinds of cartoons and AI-generated slop, like this picture of cows going over the 20-foot wall in the Southwest. And they're wearing little sombreros, so you know they're Mexican cows. Just from flying over the fence. Yeah, now gets worse. Meanwhile, while everybody else was talking about Epstein emails, I decided to check in on Fox, and they were like, hey, the U.S. Mint is going to print its last penny. We're going to interview Scott Bessant. Also, the Aurora Borealis, which, by the way, these shots, which I believe are from the Southwest, because I see cacti, are very beautiful. There were all kinds of Aurora Borealis photos in there. But no excuse, Fox. You could have covered anything else, like the most important thing that everybody's talking about. But instead, you were showing beautiful shots like this drone footage that has the Hancock Building in Chicago along Lakeshore Drive with the green Aurora Borealis, little hints of red. Absolutely astounding. But I think my favorite was posted by newlyweds, Aaron and Tyler, one of the founding fathers of Facebook for the Blind, here kissing in front of the Aurora Borealis. I know, massive show-offs. Like, amazing. Like, I can't put that together. Was that on a timer? How'd you pull that off? Really a fun friend of the show, Corey Showtime Robinson, brings out how last week Fox News, all they could talk about was Zoran Mandami, and they have a lower third here that says radical jihadist elected New York City mayor. And then this week he's meeting with, it says, president hosts foreign partners. For one, we have the king from Saudi Arabia who funds terrorists and ordered the murder of a journalist. And the gentleman who's the president of, was it Syria, I want to say, who led an Islamic terror organization until just recently when he became president. But, Fox News, it all depends how you watch it. It's not the crime, it's who's doing it. Who's doing it. Here, friend of the show, Jeffrey St. Clair, has captioned the shot of Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince in the Oval Office, which just has more gold in it than I don't even know where to start with how much gold leaf there is in this place. It's looking tacky as crap. Jeffrey says, President Bone Spurs on Prince Bone Saws. I'm very proud of the job he's done. What he's done is incredible in terms of human rights. President Bone Spurs doesn't even know about Prince Bone Saws, he says, which is funny because friend of the show, Rubio Garcia II, has reposted Caitlin Collins, who says, it's quite stunning moment in the Oval Office as President Trump asserts that MBS knew nothing about Jamal Khashoggi's murder, despite how the CIA under Trump in his first term, found the crown prince ordered it. Yeah, you know. Anyway, Tommy comments, well, maybe he'll get another plane out of it. Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update had a great story. Sheriff handed out tickets to students saying 6-7. What do you think of that one, Brane?
6-7.
I thought it was so funny, man. I first heard about that from you on this show, and then it just came up everywhere. Everywhere. Unbelievable. See, it made it onto Saturday Night Live, dude. That's when you know the kids will stop doing it.
They will not. They will not, unfortunately.
Thomas Massey having a great day today. He had warned his fellow Republicans, this vote is going to be on your record for longer than Trump is going to be president. And what are you going to do in 2028, 2030 when you're in a debate and they say, how can we trust you? You covered up for a pedophile back in 2025. And, of course, as you can probably imagine, as we go to press, the Senate, the House has already passed the vote, and that was actually done, I want to say 241. The vote was all but one guy in the House, and the Senate has said that they will just automatically pass it. You're saying to yourself, hey, who's that one guy? I looked him up. Friend of the show, Rubio Garcia II, getting the second appearance in the show. So if you are not following Rubio Garcia II, you are missing out. Reposting Angel M. James, who says, the only no vote is 4-time married LSU dropout, Louisiana Representative Clay Higgins, and a 3%er, a decentralized far-right anti-government movement formed as a reaction to the election of Obama. While he was in the Guard, he supported the 92 presidential campaign of Pat Buchanan and gubernatorial campaign of Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke. In 2004, he was a patrol officer where he was accused of beating a black man who was handcuffed and lying about it. How is this man in Congress? The poster asks. And this is to remind you once again, the sole Republican, actually the sole person, as far as I can tell, who voted against releasing the Epstein files. There are 535 people in both houses of Congress, and this guy decided to stand out and take a stand on the Epstein files. First comment, he's in the files. Hey, but they are all idiots. It's not just any one of them, man. Brooklyn Dad Defiant has reposted this J.D. Vance story from Aaron Rupar. He says, a lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the county with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought to go by right to American citizens. This is our vice president, who is pointed out, went to Yale. Brooklyn Dad says, question, I'm not a real estate or banking expert, so I'm curious about J.D. Vance's claim that 30 million undocumented immigrants are buying up all of the houses. Do banks give home loans to folks who make minimum wage without even a secure social security number? So we've got immigrant cows, okay? We've got cows jumping the fence and bringing disease. And we've got immigrant ghost home buyers, I guess, making maybe the immigrant cows are buying the houses. Maybe anyway, I give up. So the Epstein files are going to be released. The Senate has decided to go ahead and do the unanimous consent, I think is the thing, which means they don't even have to touch it. They don't even have to vote. They can just stamp it and just send it straight to the president's desk, where the president, who is all over these files, will then sign it into law. He has 30 days. What do you think, guys? You think he's just going to sign that puppy right away? Or does he need an extra 30 days, to check on some things? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, 2 Republicans and 3 Democrats did not vote. Oh, my God. That's so. Now I got to find out who the 2 Republicans and the Democrats were that didn't vote, because that's messed up. I mean, sure, Clay Higgins, Republican representative from KKK, sure, but what are these other guys doing? Anyway, House Oversight Committee is going to dump a whole bunch of stuff, And that's pretty much what's going on. Now, we like to always end our stories with a nice, heartwarming animal story. And I discovered one that I thought was absolutely fantastic. It turns out that there are scientists who study rats. And in the process of studying those rats, they found out that rats can capture bats and eat them. Now, I am usually on the bat side. But in this particular case, I would like to point out that this is shot with surveillance camera. And this is in the dark, okay, where the bat can echolocate. The bat knows the rat is there. The question the scientists have, how the fuck does a rat know the bat's there? it's pitch black. Definite unfair advantage. Advantage bat. Rat. Just. Anyway, so, yeah. That's what's going on in the New York subways in the darkness. And that has been your heartwarming animal story. Wrapping up the news for November 18th, 2025. Handing it over to my beautiful co-host, Brane, for a nice, ostensibly wholesome, and I'm assuming average length, round one.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Eric, but I'm part Italian, and my people in New York, they like to call rats somebody that likes to tell everybody's business. So that's how the rats know that the bats were there, because other rats fucking snitched on them first. All right, let's get this shit started. Hey, what are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do? We're gonna start this round off with some dumb shit. We got GTA 6 gamers. And says today's kids will never understand. And there is a copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in a PlayStation 2 game case where you can see the old PlayStation 2 had the slot for the memory card. You used to have the memory cards. And next to it was a yellow piece of paper with lots of weird random markings on there. The first one is left triangle, R1, L1, up, square, triangle, down, O, L1, L1. And then it just goes on from there, just random. Those are the cheat codes, people. Yeah, we used to have to go to the store. We used to have to go to Safeway with a pen and a paper and just kind of scroll through the magazine section, video game magazines, and write down all the codes by hand and take them home so we could play with them. Yeah, that's how hard shit was. Matter of fact, today the teacher was telling the kids today about how he was like, man, the most tedious essay I've ever had to do is my football coach making me write about the distance of the width of a football field. And I was like, I know a football field length is 100 yards, probably 120 if you add the two end zones, but I've never even thought about the width. And he was like, yeah, Ronald says it's 53 yards, 53 and a third yards, or 3/4 of a yard. I don't know, 53 and then some fractions. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. And I was like, did you have to like go with a tape measure and measure it yourself? And he was like, nah, man, we just learned about it. I had to write an essay. And I'm like, well, how'd you know how long it was? Like, you didn't have to go with a tape measure and like with ruler sticks, yardsticks, nothing? And he was like, nah, man, we just Googled that shit. And I was like, oh, the internet was already invented? And everybody in the room cracked up laughing at me. I was like, fuck y'all. The internet wasn't a thing when I was in high school. I was a grown-ass fucking adult by the time the internet came out. Anyways. Yeah, so that's why we used to have to handwrite codes on papers. But the MMA Outsiders has a picture as shopped as it gets, and it's labeled Duck Dynasty, but it is just John Jones photoshopped into a bunch of gray and brown beards with bandanas on their head. Because John Jones ducked Tom Aspinall. And it says this meme is 11 years old. That boy's been ducking for years. Anyways, Fight Bananas just says Mondays. And here we have a picture from UFC 322 where Leon Edwards is strapped to Carlos Prates' back. And Leon was punching Carlos in the face. And as you see, this smug-ass look on Carlos' face was like, nah, who gives a fuck? Carlos eventually shook Leon off his back and came back in the second round and knocked Leon out with a stiff right jab. It was a little bit of an overhand right, straight right, whatever you want to call it. Barely more than a jab, but that was... Prates is now knocked out Jeff Neal, Leon Edwards, and one other guy for their first knockout. Oh, Jing Liang. So that dude has power, man, and he fucking eats Twinkies before weigh-ins and smokes cigarettes after the fight. I don't know what's happening here, but we're just gonna move on. Um, Fallout and Patrick Underwood posted a picture of the Fallout video game logo, which is just a little white kid. And I like the show so far. Didn't get to play a whole bunch of the video game, but what I did play was fun. But this one relates to a lot of video games for me, and it just says, "Hope you're not vital to the story because I like your gun." And that means NPC, you are now getting killed, so I can use your gun. Anyways,
Yep.
we're gonna move on. This one is Bay Area Memes is in Oakland, and some guy named Captain America at Jack underscore Grizzly said people in the Bay Area. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It says 50 degrees. It's hella cold. 75 degrees. It's hella hot. I'm like, we need to make that 50 go up to like 60, and I'm already at it's hella cold. And Diane would be at 60 and be like, it's hella hot. She wrote in here, the way global warming trend is going, 50 degrees is hot-ish. Wow. I don't know what kind of spelling mistake here, but it says, while at degrees you have now entered the devil's butthole. And I think she was talking about that night. It was hot as shit. So, yes, we have 4 seasons in one day out here in the Bay, and that's the way we like it. Bay Area Memes making its second appearance in a row. Says things Californians are good at. Loving California. Talking about California.
Yeah.
Hating the cold. Taco consumption. Judging other states' Mexican food. And last but not least, we have diving under a desk because we practice earthquake drills. And when the earthquake happens, nobody dives under the fucking desk. We just go, that one, that may be a 3.4, maybe a 3.4. I almost could have surfed the desk. You know what I mean? All right, moving along. You guys don't know about earthquake drills out there in the shy, maybe. Fight Yard, I don't think I followed them, but this one is a tribute to Anthony Rumble Johnson, R.I.P. Anthony Rumble Johnson died on November 13th a few years ago, so this one is just a shout out to him. And it says he's one of the hardest punchers in MMA history. Glover Teixeira went 5 rounds with Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka, Alexander Gustafsson, and John Jones took 3-digit amount of significant strikes from each. The chin is insane. That means at least 30 significant strikes in each one of those fights. Nobody knocked Glover Teixeira out, but Anthony Rumble Johnson did it in 13 seconds and 1 punch. So imagine how hard he used to hit. I got to meet him once and hang out with him and play some Xbox UFC, and RIP Rumble. I miss that guy. Rumble, young man, Rumble. And then we'll go to Burn These Memes. And it has a picture of maybe what's supposed to be Hercules, but it just has Steve Urkel's picture photoshopped over it, and it's labeled Hercules. And
no.
The caption says, "Hi, Hydra, got any cheese? Did I do it? Nope, Burn Those Memes did." Game Over Plus says, breaking GTA 6 will require a real job to play.
What?
Rockstar's going next level with realism. Before you can even start story mode, you'll need to prove you're employed. Yep, a W-2 for the W storyline. Players are already updating their resumes just to enter Vice City. NPCs working 9 to 5 were never the problem. Turns out it was you. And somebody in the comments said, cool. Finally gonna be able to play online with all these fucking kids screaming at my ear. Too bad this is a hoax. But with the prices they're announcing, yes, you will need a real fucking job to play this game. So hopefully we will have less teeny boppers on there. And later we'll hear more about them because who knows, I might have 67 memes in the next round. Oh, okay. MMA community and low kick MMA combined on this one. And we had UFC 322 again. Michael Morales also had a knockout. Both him and Carlos Prates might be fighting for the welterweight #1 contender in their next fight because they both are very much ranked in the top 5 and had beautiful knockouts that night. Islam Machachev won the welterweight title. that night with a very boring wrestling match. But it was his chance. He now is a champion in 2 weight divisions. He had to vacate the lightweight title to become challenge for the welterweight title. But I don't know if you know this, Eric, but I always do Smash MMA, where I tell you about how Islam once told Daniel Cormier, "You want your son to learn wrestling? Send him Dagestan 2-3 years and forget about it." Right? So I always do those meme parodies 2-3 years. And looks like Michael McDonald is he's from Ecuador, and he is trolling now Islam Machachev, and he says 2-3 years in Tijuana and you'll learn how to knock someone out.
Mhm.
Yeah, Islam did knock a few people out in his last few fights before this one, but it just was fun for me to troll you guys this last week and tell you guys all how much I was supporting Islam. Anyways, Makachev. All right, Arkans memes. This one is a picture of Lamar Jackson's body. Lamar Jackson plays quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, but it is Samuel L. Jackson's face photoshopped on Lamar's body, and it is labeled Lamar. Hey, I like mashups. And Laughter is the Best Medicine has a cartoon of a boat ferry with just a bunch of teeth randomly getting off of it. Yeah, that's the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, I don't know enough fairies in my life. I didn't even see that as a pun. Oh, man.
Yeah. I think this one was dad jokes, and it says, "I strictly forbid my kids from watching orchestras. There's too much sax and violins."
Womp, womp, womp.
Right. And speaking of womp, 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 this one's going to do it for me for this round, Eric. Hopefully you're ready. It's swords, sorcery, and barbarians. And it is labeled Reverse Medusa, and it is a cartoon of a rattlesnake. There are a bunch of women sticking out of that rattlesnake's head.
Dude, that's terrifying,
Reverse
too.
Medusa.
I like that a lot.
Yep.
Dude, you gotta send me that one. I got a kid I want to show that to.
We can be wholesome from time to time.
Fabo, well done. Okay, now doing the ostensibly wholesome round. Round 1 for episode 233 for November 18th. 233, an auspicious number. Somewhere, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know numerology. Anyway, here we have a post from Marina, and we have a girl who's got one of those Christmas tree-shaped Hostess cakes, except that this has got a blunt sticking out of the end of it. She's taking a hit off the point. It says, "Wake and bake, it's officially Christmas." Man, you know that more than one person did this. More than one person was like, yes, I want to do that. Okay. Here we have a shot from, I think it's Trailer Park Boys, and he's pleading in court, and it is captioned, "People from Chicago trying to explain anything. Look, I can't speak without swearing." Which is pretty true, actually. Laughter Link's post has this in the Chicago comedy scene. Somebody says, "What are some tips for killing it at an open mic?" And Danny says, actually, his name is Pennywise, and he's unkillable. That's a Steven joke, it pun. Fuck yeah! Best and worst of Twitter, too, has this post from John Rock reposting Guy Matthews at Trots Rabble Blogs. He says, "My worst nightmare is Spotify randomly throwing out an Ed Sheeran song whilst I'm driving, and then I crash and die. But it keeps playing, so the first responders think I was like a huge Ed Sheeran fan, and they tell my mom, and I end up being cremated to the fucking Shape of You." You know, his worst nightmares go, I'm there. About halfway through my wholesome ones. Friend of the show and founding Zaddy, George Hussein Cruikshank, has this post from the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Maryland. There's no H, so Sheriff's. Anyway, it says, so I think this is fake, but it says, "Information needed for several nights now. Women in dinosaur costumes have been harassing motorists in downtown Hagerstown." We see 4 women in short skirts with 5 women in short skirts with dinosaur heads. The final one in a red dress has a cigarette that's just killing it, really. That's a little veil on top. And they're standing in the streets dressed as dinosaurs. And the caption reads, "God forbid women have hobbies." I don't know. It seems like a fun night out. I mean, I don't know. Best and worst of Twitter 2 has this post from Kupu, who's reposted Gab at Gabriella. Says, "I wish I had happiness instead of these giant tits." I hear the applause of women worldwide. Got 2 more in the wholesome round here. This is in one of my new favorite Robert Anton Wilson fans. And if you're not a follower of Robert Anton Wilson, just go out and get one of his books. God. Has a post from Daniel Wilburn, and we have here the inset of a paperback book, The Complete Prose of Woody Allen, without feathers, getting even, and side effects. And it's been signed to Josh. I think you've mistaken me for someone else. Woody Harrelson. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my most wholesome joke. It is all nasty and terrible from here on out. And finally, best and worst of Twitter 2, making another appearance here from Martin Estrada. Says, "I found both of these at the thrift today, and we see they have a megaphone, one of those great big bullhorns, and like a Samsung vibrator wand. I found both of these at the thrift today, and I can only conclude that it's divine intervention of destiny for me to have the loudest nut of my life." And that is just good, natural fun. And that wraps up my ostensibly wholesome round. I think I kept it pretty wholesome, really, as these segments go. And
that last one was more like wholesome, but whatever. This one, I cropped this one a few weeks ago and forgot to use it, so I can't remember who it was. And but it says, "Liberals hate all kinds of kings. Were king, think king, fact check king, and make king sense." All right, that was just for you, Eric. I don't even know what the fuck liberal means.
Good for you.
Somebody named Casey Boke has a picture of Jeff Bezos and cartoon Lex Luthor, and it says, "Jeff Bezos really worth $200 billion and ain't Batman or Iron Man yet."
Oh,
boom! Yeah.
Wait a second. And I've been telling that joke for 12 years.
Born with a dark tan says, "It's because he's Lex Luthor." They're both bald and dickheads. All right. Yep. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Here we have a picture of MMA fighter Brandon Royval. And Dovey at Dovey Simu MMA tweets that Brandon Royval on the UFC White House card said, "To fight in front of them seems like some Hunger Games shit. I don't care to fight in front of a bunch of billionaires who couldn't care less about me. I want to fight in front of people that are fans of MMA and can relate to me." And thank the fuck out of you, Brandon Royval, because you know how many of these punk ass motherfuckers I heard, "I'm gonna defend the White House, I'm gonna defend the White House, I'm gonna defend the White House." Shut up. All right. Hood memes and Mumnum Monroe, Monroe, I don't fucking know how to say that. You just too much of a tongue twister. They write, "I am living proof that you can be both smart and slow as hell at the same time." Laughter's the best medicine says, "I just went to the shop and said, 'Can I pay by card?' He said, 'No problem. What card do you have?' I said, 'The 6 of spades.'" Sean, my homie Sean Moe from the Fillmore out here in San Francisco, the self-proclaimed founder of the the catchphrase "Bang Bang Niner Gang" when it comes to the 49ers. I don't like to use it, but that's my homie, and he says he started it. I'm gonna shout him out because they try to say that E40 did, and no, the fuck he didn't. We were using that term a long time before he made that song, and that song is trash. But I still like E40. Anyways, he just says, America isn't even a country anymore. It's just a crime scene, if you ask me. And yep, that's true. Miss Riddle has a picture of some African American dude in a vest pointing up, and you see a shadow. I think Diane told me that this was from what movie?
Waiting to Exhale.
Waiting to Exhale, and that's usually what I do after I hit the cush. But this one says, when a UFO flies by and doesn't even stop to abduct me. And he is saying, you raggedy bitch. And comedian Doug Ferrari just has a picture of what looks like a hair simulate, or it could be maybe like a dodo bird with its beak hanging off. It could be a silhouette of a sickle and the Grim Reaper just being lazy and passed out. I don't know, but it looks like a hair silhouette. And then there's two Twitter/X logos for eyes, and then a Tesla logo that looks like a mouth, and it is a silhouette of Hitler. A little bit on a lighter mood, just in between all the depressing shit of this round is Cured by Cannabis, and they said I made the right choice because Stoner Granny says better to be full of smoke than full of shit.
Oh.
High vibe multiverse or some shit like that. Somebody named Valerie A. Smith. Fuck, these tongue twisters are getting me today. We have the meme of Kermit the Frog looking smugly depressed out of the rainy window, and it says, the longer I live, the more convinced I am that this planet is used by other planets as a lunatic asylum.
Checks out.
Alternate reality movies has says, whoops, guess they shouldn't have gone to that Coldplay concert, #BubbaGate, and it's the Coldplay picture, but it is Bill Clinton as the CEO and Donald Trump as the HR lady.
Classic.
This one's Master Chief's D. Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Classic.
Okay. It has a picture of a football lineup, and the offensive line is getting ready to snap the ball to the quarterback. The quarterback is calling out his cadence, and he says, 45, 47, blue 42, blue 42.
Oh, shit. Dude, send me that one.
And then main political memes, Andy McMinn. Anyways, it's a picture of Trump with like his hair blown out, and he's got his mouth all puffed up, like he's either got some water in there or something he's holding on to, and it says there's about 60 million Clintons
60 million.
60 million Clintons in there. Okay.
Oh God.
This one's the Iron Snowflake, and it's the meme of the couple walking by, and the dude is holding hands with his girl, but he's looking at whoever the girl is walking past them, and the girl walking past is Bill Clinton, and the couple is Donald Trump and Melania Trump.
It's hard to see if either one of them's looking at Bill. Melania's making a hand motion like she's thinking about Bill.
Yeah. It's like, Donald, yours is this small. I saw Bill one time. He's just twice as big.
God.
I've got the best small dick you'll ever have, man. Somebody named Joe Man. I like that name. Just says,
Joe Man.
I think this one might be my last one. I forgot to announce that, but I like this one. It says, if Bill Clinton doesn't say, I did not have sexual relations with that man, I'm going to be so fucking upset.
Dude, my favorite thing was Mark, who is Jeff Epstein's brother, comes out and says, Bubba is not Bill Clinton.
Right.
I was just like, the fact that you had to come out and say it, just that it's you've already lost. You've all everyone involved is lost.
Yeah. They're like, it was Bubba the Love Sponge from Grand Theft Auto 5. All right, never mind.
God, no.
Too many Grand Theft references in one night, but
Dude, and
there may be more. Who knows?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you all heard that Ghislaine Maxwell, had a horse named Bubba. that was
a horse is a horse, of course.
Yeah, that was the second
out
thing.
That said that Mark Epstein said that in 2016 his brother told him, if I told them what I known about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. Why the fuck didn't you do it, Epstein?
Yeah.
You fucking jerk.
Yeah, dude, none of us wanted to go through that election. Why? Right. You could have saved us so much time. Hey, I do want to do one other thing just because I love a headline that is just amusing to me. And this week, you might have missed it, but off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot pled guilty in an attempt to cut a flight mid-air in 2023. Cut the engines to the flight mid-air. He said he was grief-stricken on mushrooms and hadn't slept in 40 hours. So he's like, you know what, man? I'm just going to crash this airplane. Whoa!
He went full Homelander, huh?
Yeah, freaking crazy. Yeah. All right, doing the ostensibly second round. Allegedly, a little dirtier. Okay. First off, I just want to remind you all. This is a picture of. Does anybody play cards? I see 3 aces and 2 kings. Full house. So a full house, I am told. We have hands of full house, and then we see Chuck Schumer holding the cards, and he says, "I fold." Because remember after the big long holding out on the shutdown and stuff, they just folded, and just embarrassing. You had all the power, and you got butt kiss. Best and worst of Twitter too, with an appearance from Dave Gore reposting Aunkong's picture of oh my God, poor Erica Kirk, who's like 20, but she looks like Tammy Faye Baker. So much makeup, so weird blonde hair. There's a whole bizarre Barbie doll thing happening with her. Anyways, this Erica Kirk received the Charlie Kirk Legacy Award. She tried to cry, but even her tears rejected the script. Secondary caption, woman whose husband got murdered receives the Made Up Your Husband Got Murdered award for excellence in having a husband get murdered. Oh, so wrong. Here we have a picture of Kid Rock posing next to Zoran Mandami. And it says, breaking news, Kid Rock cancels all tour dates in New York City for next year. Sorry, NYC, but I don't sing for commies. And it's captioned, almost a dozen tickets had to be refunded. I saw an identical post to this with Vanilla Ice wearing a United States flag, and I don't think any of these things are real. They're just funny. Rubio Garcia II, making her first appearance out of the news portion of the show, says, so you mean to tell me that the King of England stripped royal status as well as military rank and then exiled his own brother because of a Democratic hoax? Well, that's weird. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Dan Rice has a cover story. Trump suddenly doesn't want to make a big deal about someone's emails. Which was just nailing it. The Hard Times, friend of the show, The Hard Times has a picture of Scrooge and 3 ghosts, and it says, Trump reverses stance on Epstein files after being visited by 3 pedophile ghosts. One's Epstein, one's Michael Jackson, and one's that guy who played Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know. But yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he got busted for some pedophile shit too.
Ugh, horrible. Anyway, just terrible stuff. But anyway, friend of the show, Kenny Kynes, has put it best when he said, even if he didn't, I'm going to keep saying he did. And I said, oh yeah, that's also known as the couch fucker rule. You can take my couch fucker jokes when you pry them from my cold dead podcast. Even if he didn't, I'm gonna keep saying he did. In my little private group, Issues, Identity, and Debate, the best and worst of Twitter 2 had this post of a man just laughing and just his whole mouth open in 6 different angles. And Lady Lazarus has captioned it, "Me after reading Donald Trump sucked Bill Clinton's cock." Now there's the plot twist nobody expected. It made me laugh when I saw it. Hey, a new nickname just dropped, Donica Lewinsky.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And my friend Liam said, "How about Megan R. Kelly?" I was like, oh. For those of you who missed it, Megan trying to draw the line on what was and was not a pedophile was gross. Real gross. And Megan, I really, if you're listening to this, I want you to talk to somebody. I want you not on a podcast, like a real human being in a room. Controversial political memes for anti-establishment human beings. And if you're not following controversial political memes for anti-establishment human beings, you are missing out. As a post from Saskia Whitson with the 3 panel from Spider-Man. And we have the Spider-Man character looking over at his friend, and he says, "Epstein's own brother said Bubba isn't Clinton." And his friend says, "So it's definitely the horse." Spider-Man's like, "Roo?" Yeah. Yep. Anti-QAnon meme says this post from Oscar Torres with a man in a red ball cap with a t-shirt that says, "Real men suck cock." Caption, "New MAGA merch just dropped." Mark A. Love has this post of Donald Trump grabbing Bill Clinton's cock. There's no other way to say. They're both wearing clothes. This looks like a real thing. It looks like he's going whoopa whoopa, like, right there. And Trump is labeled the answer, and Bill is in the wind.
Grab him by the peepee.
The answer, my friend, is blowing. Here we have a picture of the Oval Office, just all gold lamed out, all these gold framed pictures, lots of gold tchotchkes all along the mantelpiece. Big meeting there. And the picture is captioned, this is where he's there with Zelensky. It says, "When you accept him as gay, the hair, the makeup, the ballroom, and the Liberace-themed decorations suddenly make a lot more sense." And I was like, honestly, though, even Liberace would be saying this is way too much. Kate Swaff says, "Excuse you, a gay man would blend his makeup better." Excellent point. Point to Kate. And John says, "Somehow the horse is less awkward to think about." Oh, man. And finally, wrapping up the ostensibly second round, we have Hillary Clinton saying, "Keep my husband's dick out of your fucking mouth."
Oh, shit. They should have photoshopped her on Will Smith and Chris Rock on Donald Trump.
Oh, my God. And that's I don't need a moment to recover. Oh, man, I've lost my controls. I don't know how to stop sharing.
All right. I'll
Thank
just
you.
take over then. Let's see how this will go. Hopefully it goes the right.
Perfect.
All right. We're going to start this one off with 90s nostalgia. Jack Clusto, I guess, and hip hop and horror posted absolutely no everyone, and it says nothing. And it says ATCQ in 1990. That stands for A Tribe Called Quest. And here we have a 7 panel. First panel is a tin can. Second panel is an eyeball. Third panel is someone getting kicked in the ribs. The fourth panel is the clown It. The fifth panel is one of those dudes from the Napoleon Dynamite. And the sixth panel is like a sheep. And then we end with another tin can. And that is, "Can I kick it? Yes, you can." All right. You know what?
I love that song.
Yeah, it's gonna be long. That's what they're. He fished for the long compliment in the first round, like he does with Michael. But I don't do what Michael's do. I give you the long stuff in the last round. Anyways, we're gonna go with Blamuel L. Jackson with the Back to the Future poster. But except instead of Marty McFly, there is Marlon Wayans from the movie. What was the movie? Was it just Scream? I don't know. Maybe it was I Knew What You Did Last Summer. It was one of those spoof movies about Scream. And anyways, it's called Jack to the Future. Break yourselves! All right, fuck this. I can't even read where this one came from because it got cut off up there. But it's something us part. So it has a guy fluffing a pillow and it says, I'm at the age where I listen to gangster music while doing the least gangster shit ever. Again, he is fluffing the pillows. I don't even want to know what this art piece on is. Those just all look like eccentric butt plugs, but I'm just gonna keep it moving. Memes and Fuckery has a picture of Beetlejuice on Jeopardy. And it says, this type of person steals memes without liking them. And Beetlejuice says, what is a little bitch? All right. Guess you guys hopefully like your memes before you steal them. Homegrown Pruns has an AI picture of Mo from the Three Stooges, but he has a mohawk. And it is labeled Mohawk. You know what? If you don't say something about this one, Eric, this is just for you. Young Verse says, what's a crab rangoon to a crab ran goblin? You know what? We're moving along. Dumbass Photoshops by Joel says, bro, seriously, stop this shit. It's not even funny anymore. And it's a picture of Michael Jackson saying, Shamon. And underneath there's two pictures of Michael Jackson saying, Shamtu. You thought I was going to do a hee-hee pun, didn't you? That was last week, Eric. Catch up.
I got you.
Q-Bang Guy has a picture of the poster from the movie 28 Days Later, 28 Years Later, whatever it is. And this one's labeled 28 Christmases Later, and it has Mariah Carey on it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah. 28 Christmases
later. Has it
later,
been that many Christmases?
Fucking listen to this. God damn,
it has been. Oh my God, that's about right. It's 28. Oh my God.
Friend of the show, Corey Showtime Robinson posted a repost of Corey Shivers and Graham Hines, who said, I love how we didn't raise minimum wage because it would make food more expensive, but then just made food more expensive anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Burn These Memes has Love in a Sarcophagus, and it is Steven Tyler's face photoshopped in on a golden pharaoh, and it is labeled Pharaoh Smith. Pharaoh Smith, Eric. Now you get the Love in a Sarcophagus. All right, you don't like elevators. I get it. The Gaming Dungeon says, be excellent to each other, okay? And this one's a 4-panel. The first panel is the 6'7" kid, and it is labeled 6 on the left side, 7 on the right side. Next to 7 is labeled 9. And if you see 6 and 9 are combined together, to see Bill and Ted 6'9", right? That's a nerd joke. On the left corner we have 7-Eleven with the 7-Eleven sign, and then in the right corner we have George Bush for 9/11.
Oh no!
Fuck! I forgot which way am I going. Am I going left or right? Left or right? We're going to go left. Oh, I think I got it right. I stole these memes and somebody named Adam Sirius at Browtoween. I don't fucking know what that says. Me, I bought a gun because of my bird phobia. Therapist, you might be getting carried away. Me, firing the gun towards the ceiling. Boom! Not without a fight.
Oh.
All right. Day-to-day memes, and it's the 6 cents, but this one is the 6-7 cents with. And look, they put the little mini pro on the kids. I see dumb numbers all the time. I tell the kids, at least back in the day, we used to have like 415 for San Francisco's area code, or like I would see 49 in the wild as a Niner fan together. You catch the time and it's 11:11. You're like, what a coincidence. That's just how numbers work when you count, because they just literally be counting. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. And I'm like, I'm a 6'7", the side of your fucking skull. Anyways, day-to-day memes has that kid photoshopped on with a suit, and this one's 0067. Gary Stone has a picture of maybe a fairy and like some kind of little Baphomet type goat man playing a flute. The fairy's dancing on one side, the goat man is on the other side, and it's like a bathroom label. This bathroom just says, whatever, just wash your hands.
Nice.
Good Vibes for Life has a cartoon of is this one Perosi? I can't see, that one's almost too small.
Yeah.
Fuck, my bad. Anyways, somebody that I like their cartoons has a picture of some aliens doing some paperwork, and there is a man in a blue sweater, and looks like he's gotten caught, and he's in some kind of beam, and it says, well, the one alien with the glasses doing the paperwork says to the two aliens behind the seat, says, "You have a human? Well, that counts as a dependent." And it says, Dan is deducted by aliens.
That's a good alien voice. I like that.
Greg Jacobs has a picture of what looks to be He-Man, but he's got a tan, some dreads, and a Rasta hat, and it's labeled "Hey Mon" and "Masters of the Universe." That was a terrible Jamaican accent. Maybe we'll get better as we go along. Useless, unsuccessful memes has a picture of the Spider-Man poster, but Spider-Man also has dreads and a Rasta hat, and it is labeled Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. And then we've got Oops, all OC memes, and it's a picture of two Rastas in a field of marijuana, looking like they're hot, but they are smiling like it is almost harvest day. And here we have, I don't know if that's, I wish TD was here. Who's that? That's not Cyndi Lauper, is it? Anyways, it's the lady with the top hat and the goggles, and she says, "I said, hey, what's growing, Mon?" I said, hey. All right.
That was the lady for Four Non-Blondes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All the women
You guys are all fucking late. You could have did this before I fucking embarrassed myself, okay?
Where's the fun in that?
Comedian Gary Stone has a picture of Gene Hackman. Is that his name?
Yep.
And as Willy Wonka, and it says Gene Wilder.
Nice.
Why would you say yes? See? He said yes.
Diane's helping.
I said it out loud, and then she was like, "No, you idiot!" I could hear the pendejo in her voice, even though she didn't say it. Anyways, do you have a good Willy Wonka voice? Can you read this one for me if you do? I don't have a good Willy Wonka voice. I could just read it though.
Well, I don't know. He has kind of a sing-songy voice in the movie. You know, he's kind of weird.
All right, go ahead.
Kids these days need elf on a shelf to behave. That's cute. We had welts with a belt. Shit. Dude, we're the last generation to get the belt, man.
Right. It was, as soon as they stopped doing it, I was like, this is gonna end up bad. Wow, I didn't know how bad it would be. This one's gonna be the last one for me for this round, only leaving my post with the most, Eric, and it is a picture of Kim Kardashian and possibly Patton Oswalt. Looks like they're playing poker. And it is Mimas and Joey Lyons, who says, "Whenever you're feeling like a moron, just remember Kim Kardashian played poker with mirrored glasses." And if you see... yeah.
Dude, did you see the thing about Kim Kardashian? She said that she's using ChatGPT to study for the bar exam
I was gonna say somehow she became a lawyer or some shit. What?
No, she's been trying to take the bar exam. She's studying to take the bar, but she keeps using ChatGPT, and she's posting all these things on social media where she's just like, "It's always wrong," and I just think the company should know that I keep trying and it's always wrong. It's crazy, and I'm like, yeah. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is indeed crazy, Kim. Why are you doing that? Anyway. So why?
Yeah. It's wild.
There's a piece of graffiti I see from time to time that says, "Stop making stupid people famous." All right. Doing the ostensibly third round, the penultimate round. And then our post with the most, brought to you by 13 Moons, handcrafted spell candles. You can purge negativity and remove hexes and rid the evil eye, and it does shielding and protecting. And down at the bottom, there's like pictures of magical herbs, and one of them is definitely freaking herb. I was like, this is the best. This is the best ad I've ever gotten on Facebook. I was like, that is, because I'm sitting here going, I'm not even in the market for candles. And I started looking at it. I was like,
Maybe I do need to purge
13 Moons, handcrafted spell candles. Don't buy them at your own risk. Here's a post from the wild that just says, "And to think the real ballroom was his mouth all along."
Oh my God.
Here we have a picture of Donica Lewinsky in a blue dress. It's just Trump's face with a black... Yeah, I know. Okay. The Let's Not Date with blue checkmark says, "It's starting to feel like I'm the only one who hasn't blown Bill Clinton."
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I think we all feel that way. These are F Times says, "Everyone getting mad at the New York Times for sitting on or suppressing mountains of evidence about Jeffrey Epstein or Donald Trump need to realize that they had a lot on their plate with trying to keep the country afraid of trans kids and Palestinians." Ho Grammer, friend of the show. Dude, who is Ho Grammer? Do you remember this comedian? It's Malali. Anyway, but her online handle is Ho_Grammer. She says, "Starting to think they don't want to release the Epstein files because they don't want us seeing that elites write like methed up dumbasses. Fucks up this whole meritocracy thing." They really do. It's amazing. You're like, you're worth $100 million and you can't write a sentence. Here we have a 2-panel. I think this is from The Boys. I think these are 2 female heroines from The Boys. And one of them says, "Just because he flew to Epstein Island doesn't mean he actually did anything." And the other one says, "Who flies to Disney World 7 times but never enjoys the rides?" She says, "What?"
Right?
All right, moving on. This one I got by email, and I cropped it. It's captioned, "When the worst people do the right thing. When your opponents start fighting each other, it's probably best to sit back and just let things unfold. But it's also perfectly understandable to have an oogie feeling about rooting for either of them. Ted Allen of the Food Network summed it up well, saying it was unforgivable to make him agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Quote, "It's like enjoying a new song and finding out it's by Kid Rock." I was like, oh, I know that feel, bro. I know that feel. Yeah, Marjorie, like, I listened to several cogent sentences from Marjorie, and she made sense, and I was like, what is happening? Moving on, over issues again, my friend Ben has got this that I think he made himself. Got a picture of the Trumpster, and it says, "They call me a blowhard because they think it means I talk. I brag a lot." Bill Clinton's giving the thumbs up. That's silly. A meaningless life to the tune of Alexander Stan, Mr. Saxo Beat. But sorry, no sound here. A meaningless life has reposted Danny Goodwin. At Danny Goodwin says, "What's crazy is Trump doesn't drink or do drugs. He's doing a sax solo on Clinton off Diet Coke and lime." Frankly, I gotta tell you what, I love this and I think it's a funny joke, but of all the things that Trump gives me in terms of like signaling being a giver, not one of them. A Meaningless Life Part 2 has a post from Tom Joseph. Tom J. Chicago says, we are one disclosure away from Trump fleeing the White House in a white 1993 Ford Bronco with Carolyn Levitt behind the wheel. And one more before my post with the most. Ciros TV has this conversation from Mark. Says, dude, what's your street name? And he says, Lo Marco. You live on a street called Lo Marco? Oh, you meant my address. And that has been my tertiary round, leaving only my post with the most. Brane, what you got to bring us home?
All right. I was going to cheat and put up a Teddy Ruxpin meme talking about how he was the first AI and going to be telling you how that was better than ChatGPT for the bar, but we're going to fuck Teddy Ruxpin. So we have The Dungeon and Andy Bold, who posted somebody named Lordy Wilkins is with Lee Dennison and 9 others. And this one's just a picture of, I guess that's Queen or something.
Queen, yeah.
And it says, you got nut on your face, you big disgrace, banana flopping titties all over the place, or whatever Freddie Mercury said. And I said, flopping titties and banana titties flopping. But, you get the gist of that one. You get the gist.
I don't know what banana titties are, but I'm going to say that to somebody at some point. And now I have squad goals. Sweet baby Jesus. Okay. Wrapping it up with my final cut here. My very most popular post with the most is this. Says, say something nice about a mutual friend of ours in the comments. Not about me, about someone we both know. I stole this from friends and I love this energy. And guys, yeah, I got a lot of responses on this. Like my friend Vicky saying, our mutual friend Anya is a wonderful dancer. And that's what got people going. And you know what? That gives me hope.
That didn't come up in my algorithm. Apparently, we have no mutual friends for me to talk about.
I thought it was great. Got it from my different buddy Michael. And yeah, after this week and all the weirdness and all the memes, it's been really fun. Hey, but ladies and gentlemen, that it constitutes an entire and wholly operative episode of Facebook for the Blind for November 18th, 2025. Under all the laws and the Constitution and current legislation of the state of Illinois, I hereby declare this meeting null and void. To all our fans out there in TV land, we love you. Mwah! Fucking brilliant. Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.